Welcome everybody to Mindset Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. So, Mindset Monday, what's it all about? It's about getting the motivation, it's about getting engaged, it's about making that week your best week yet. If you keep doing this, guys, you keep getting the week after week after week, you get the best month. You keep doing the best months, you get the best year. You do a few of those years, you're going to be way ahead of the game. So, Mindset Monday, let's get into it. Andy, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? Yeah, loads of stuff. So morning, guys. What I was thinking about over the weekend was actually a process that we call IVVMs, and it's something that I get into quite quickly with the guys that I work with, because essentially, you know, there's two ways that we can look at this in terms of business, isn't there? There's the way we do business, the business strategy, but the way we think about business. Now, for me, what I found is there's more leverage in the way that we think rather than what we do. We've got to think differently to act differently. So IVVMs is to help us do that. So what does IVVM stand for? First of all, idealise. So, you know, this is the quality of your dreams. What does your ideal life look like? You know, if we don't have great quality dreams, we're not going to have great quality goals. So we've got to idealise what our ideal life looks like, and then really visualise it. And a tool we use for that is a dream board, actually. So the dream board is, you know, go and find images of stuff that you really want to have in your life, or do experiences that you want to do. So, you know, we did our first one 12 years ago when I started Action Coach, and I think there's like 2 things left to do. We've had to go back and refresh it because we've just ticked everything off, and most of that is experiences, you know, doing safaris and things like that.
So you do the dream board, do you do it for like, how long in front do you plan for this dream board?
Well, I think it's almost like that bucket list type thing, isn't it? The 101 things to do before you die. But we sat down as a family, it's got to be 12 years ago, and as a family we said, what are the things that we want to do, what are the experiences we want to have? So, you know, we had safaris on there, and going to Universal and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this is a fun thing where we capture all the things that, something for everybody essentially, and we can link those to business goals. You know, achievement in business gives us the ability to do this, so very, very much linked to goals, but also things that you probably wouldn't think of on a day-to-day basis, where you start to think, well, what size business, how many people do I need to be helping to be able to do these things?
That's right. Yeah.
So pretty cool from that. You know, when the dreams get bigger, the goals have to get bigger. So idealise that ideal life, and then think about visualising it from the point of view of a dream board, and also we can visualise that every day by thinking about what our life would be like when we achieve that. The next V, IVVM, is verbalise, and you know, if we think about goals are things which we can't do right now. Things that if we can do them right now, it's not a goal, it's a task. You've probably heard me say that before. So we have to grow into our goals. We have to become somebody different. There's probably an element of identity shift needed. So verbalise is about something we call affirmations, and it's about who's the person you need to become. So that's very much about programming our subconscious to find new evidence of new beliefs, and beliefs drive our behaviours, and behaviours reinforce our beliefs. You know, there's a lot of science behind this, and I don't really have time to go through it today, but this is one of the most powerful things that I teach, really. Because, you know, if we get clear on who we need to become to achieve our goals, and start reprogramming our subconscious for it. Yeah, okay, we can't just arm this stuff into action, right? We have to
arm this stuff into action.
Yes.
You mean sitting on a rock and making...
Exactly. So we can't just think about who we need to become. We need to become that person, and becoming it is not only thinking that way, but acting that way.
Yes. Yeah.
So 2 very important things. The most important thing to realise is that the leverage, we have an equation, B times do equals have.
Yes.
So have is our results, where we want to get to. Do is our behaviour, and B is everything that causes our behaviour. So that's made up of skills and beliefs and values, and ultimately our identity. And our identity is just our subconscious, really looking for evidence of who we think we are. So if you think you're great at something, then your subconscious is going to find lots of evidence of you being great at something. Whereas, and it will throw away all the evidence of not being great at something, because that's not what it's looking for.
Yeah, but interesting how that works when You know, I always think of when you go and buy a new car and you drive out, you know, you think about this car and you think, oh yeah, I really want that car. Then all of a sudden you get the new car and you start driving off the forecourt. And then you see the car everywhere. You know, you start to notice them more. They've always been there, but now you're attuned to actually seeing it.
Absolutely, that's it. We get what we focus on, essentially.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, most of us do these affirmation things, verbalising who we want to become or find evidence of all the time. We just don't do them systematically. So how many times have you said to yourself, I'm having a bad day? And how many times have you found evidence of it? Now, if you think about that statement, I'm having a bad day, it's linked to your identity, I am. It's linked to your identity, so our subconscious is now programmed to find evidence of it. So what if you chose to have a bad half hour instead? I'm having a bad half hour. Would that be a better use of energy? You know, so I think we really need to think about what we're putting into our brain, because language causes the way we think, and the way we think causes the way we act. So that unsystematic use of language and the I am statements, which aren't helpful, really don't help us move towards our goals. So I think, you know, essentially, who do you need to become to achieve that ideal life that you constructed in the idealise and visualise phase, by verbalising it in terms of I am statements, you know, like I'm a great businessman, or whatever it is that you choose to be. We start to find evidence of that. I mean, a great example for me would be, you know, when I first started this business, the idea of standing in front of a room of people to present a seminar would have absolutely terrified me. And
now you're up there doing it in front of hundreds of
exactly.
people.
so you know, my first I am statement around that was, I'm a confident presenter. Because actually, when I stood up in front of a room of people, I wasn't a confident presenter, but I wanted to reprogram my subconscious to actually find evidence of just some areas where I was confident. And the more I started to look for it, the more I found it. And the more I found it, the more confident I became, and the better I became at standing in front of that room of people. So it's just, you know, and you'll find this throughout all areas of your life, where we've got a belief around something and our behaviour reinforces it, and that cycle will keep us where we are unless we change the belief. And changing the belief will change the behaviour, and that changes the results.
That's right, yeah. What comes back into my mind now is that, you know, in psychology we get this idea of conditioning. We've all been conditioned into the way we are today, so we really need to look at recondition ourselves to be this person that we've got to become. Because if we want to start having more stuff, you talk about be times do equals have. It's one of the posters on the wall in the office here. As you walk in the office, there's lots of posters. Be times do equals have is a large one. So you talk about actions in coaching. You're always talking about taking action, taking the next action to get to the result they want to be at. But this area of be is who we actually got to become, who we got to be going out there as, and what have we got to start saying to ourselves. Yeah,
that's right. And that's one of the reasons that I deal with this so fast with guys that I work with, because actually we've just said the leverage comes out of be, not do.
Yeah.
So, you know, from my point of view, if I grow business owners, then the business can't fail to grow. So very much we get onto this stuff really fast and work out, you know, what are the qualities that you need to display as the person you need to become to have the business and the life you want to have. We get into that really, really fast. So it's not just about hitting the business strategy, it's about hitting your perception strategy, if you want to call it that.
Something really interesting that you've said to me too is that as the business owner starts to change from this identity shift, because you're talking about identity here, you know, you're moving out of what's in your mind from a child, going through school, going through and learning from different areas, and gain this identity. But as you tend to shift identity in the coaching sessions, the business changes as well. So would you say that the business is actually linked to the business owner and what they're doing?
Of course. Of course. And in the most part, you know, what really has to happen is every business rises to the level of competence of its owner. And the competence of the owner is, you know, very much predicated by the level of skill they have and the beliefs around their business. So if we change those, we change the results.